It's Jay's for Days, podcast number 19. We know the number. The 20th, we're going to do something cool. We don't know what yet. And we've got a zombie in the corner.
Brains.
I thought you were just singing.
It's his new hit. He's been working on it. I've been helping him write it.
I want your brains, girl.
The subject of this podcast is surviving the zombie apocalypse, which we all, JP and I, are huge Walking Dead fans.
Yes.
Jesse may not watch the show per se, but I know you're a big zombie fan.
She likes the genre.
You have lots of dreams.
I do have lots of zombie dreams.
Oh, those are the worst dreams.
No, they're the best.
No, they're so scary.
No, they're not. Not if you're prepared.
Are you prepared in your dreams?
In all of them except for 2, yeah.
And we'll explain to us as we get into it. The whole point of this is how would we survive the apocalypse?
Yes.
And we want to know what you did wrong so others can learn from your mistakes.
I don't remember. I just remember it being really creepy.
Okay, so lesson 1, you need to be very attentive and pay attention to what's going on around.
Yeah.
Well, one of them where I don't think that I actually got defeated because I woke up, but we had our safe haven and they got in, and I went upstairs. That was my first mistake. Why would you go upstairs?
Right, you should just get out. Well, you know what? If you go upstairs, that might not be a bad plan in a crisis like that, but what you need to do is get on. I've always said, I don't know why people don't just get on the roof.
Yeah, or if you have a loft up there, loft would be ideal.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, you can trap yourself, I understand, and end up starving to death or getting overheated, but you still have a better chance to come up with a plan while you're up there getting your head straight, better than being downstairs and getting eaten by zombies.
I'm pretty sure that's how they survived in the original Night of the Living Dead. They go up in the attic, and that's where they hold out. Good stuff.
In that one, you had a zombie stabber mom, though. I don't think we have that, right? Wasn't that Night of the Living Dead? It was black and white.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. You could be right.
I think the zombie girl stabs her mom. She's just like, well, we'll look it up, but I think so.
Huh.
And
wait, it's in black and white?
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead.
Didn't that happen on another movie? Oh, it might have been the Night of the Living Dead.
The remake.
There was a remake in
that was
color.
When the little girl, all the rest, I think, after that were in color, right? You had, Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead.
The next was Dawn and then Day of the Dead. I want to say the best, movie remake ever was the new Dawn of the Dead with Ving Rhames and, I can't remember who else was in it, but that was a great movie.
Was that the mall?
Yeah, where they're in the mall. I would dare to say that might even top the original.
Right, that was really good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. Okay, so, we're sitting here... And, which we don't live, this is the more city part of the area we live in. We don't really live in a city per se. So, number one, we have an advantage, I feel, compared to people in New York City, like L.A. That's got to suck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it's got to be the worst place you can be.
I was stressing over the weekend. I went to the Granite State Comic Con in New Hampshire, and the whole weekend, I'm like, if this thing starts right now, a zombie outbreak, what am I going to do? Am I going to try to make it home, just leave right now and shoot down 95? I'm going through the most populated part of the country, or am I just going to stick it out here and make a new life for myself?
Yeah,
it's what do you do?
That's the mind of a true survivor. There is where we no matter where we are, we're looking and okay, if a zombie apocalypse happens, what's my exit strategy? What do I do?
And with my luck, I would actually make it home just to find all of my family dead. Make that trek for no reason.
Let's talk strategy, okay? So with the zombie apocalypse, obviously we're talking full-scale apocalypse, and really I guess we need to settle here. What kind of zombies are we faced with? Because that really can determine...
Lord.
Yeah, fast or slow. You're talking infected 28 days later zombies.
Which are absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Can we do slow zombies?
That's ideal, for sure.
I'll tell you what we could do. Slow zombies would be the best. Kind of Walking Dead, to where they're not Night of the Living Dead slow, but they're not fast either.
Yeah.
I mean, they can come at you quicker than you think, but you run, you can get away from them. Let's do it. We'll consider it kind of that. But if you get the chance and you think of a good strategy for something of the opposite, if the fast moving, you could do this, throw it out there. You never know when it might be useful.
Hoverboards.
Those would probably get you killed.
Airplanes.
Like motorcycles. No, I would stay like Daryl on The Walking Dead on a motorcycle. That has got to be the worst idea in the zombie apocalypse. I mean, the motorcycle's loud as all get out. And all you got, we know that they don't show restraint, so they don't mind just grabbing you when you ride by and
I would
wrecking
definitely try and get one of those bank trucks with the money in it.
Trucks. Yeah. I've always said, I would love to get something and put, a plow or maybe, engineer some kind of, triangle thing on the front to just kind of push them out of the way.
Yeah, mow through the herd.
Yeah.
And I mean, so there's a good question that, all right, there's two questions I'll start this off with to get y'all's opinion on. Number one, okay, do you believe in strength in numbers, or are you mostly a small group, easiest to survive?
That's what I was going to say. Are you going to be a lone wolf, or are you looking to run with a pack?
I'm running with a pack.
Myself, I'm a strength in numbers kind of person. I'm aware that that's more mouths to feed and more people's backs to watch. But I feel like, okay, which I obviously now I wouldn't do it. It's a bad idea. My friends and I had sat on my porch one night and for hours plotted the zombie apocalypse. We were going to go to Walmart. We were going to take the little ride. I mean, we were serious, too. This sounds goofy.
Were y'all smoking crack?
No, but we were so... We might have been
I would definitely stock up
bit.
on that, though.
We were drinking a little bit.
Yeah, why not?
You need something to take the edge off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always said in the zombie apocalypse, I will have a bottle of whiskey in my backpack. I need something to take that edge, that not to get you plastered, but to take that part of you that's scared and just, like, slice it off.
Yeah.
And
No,
then-
I would be getting mad tore up, y'all. No question.
Toe up and a flow up.
We'd be just dragging JP around pretty much the whole apocalypse. But so what are you? So you said you're more pack-oriented.
Oh, yeah.
What are you? Are you strength in numbers or more of a lone wolf?
No, I would just try to disappear into the forest or something. I would definitely be just a lone wolf scavenger. I'm sure you guys didn't see The Postman with Kevin Costner.
I hadn't.
Oh, well, I would be him. He's just a loner. It's not zombie apocalypse, but it's post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I would be Kevin
You'd
Costner.
be more the lone wolf.
I feel like there's a lot of difficult decisions that come with being in a group. Like, say, you're living with your grandmother. Are you going to care, is
Right.
your grandmother going to be an equal part of the group? Are you going to pick
that's
up her
the thing,
dead
too.
weight?
So, okay,
Well,
so
what would you do
kill
with
you-
Laylo, though? Because Laylo's not like Carl age. He could not fend for himself.
I would strap him to my back and do the best I can.
He would be a total liability, though.
If someone got pregnant, I mean, it's like, how do you handle that? I mean, I know obviously there's no abortion.
They don't
clinic
have
in the zombie
condoms
apocalypse.
in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, they do, but that.
What if
don't
you're
mean
pregnant
people are
going
gonna use
into
them.
it, though?
Right. Once
Like,
you have a baby, that's basically a dinner bell strapped to you the entire time.
Yeah, that would suck.
So
I feel like Jesse would be a lot like the governor. If Laylo did get bitten, she would just keep him in a closet somewhere, feed him parts she got off of strangers that just walked by.
I think so.
Yeah.
She would keep a
Yeah, I would.
zombie son.
I would keep him on a chain, and then I would go close enough for him to hug me, but not bite me.
We could just do like the governor did and pull their teeth out.
Yank his teeth out.
Okay, now here's one thing I don't understand in zombie apocalypse scenarios. Have you seen the Brad Pitt movie
World War Z?
You
Yeah,
seen
I
that?
wasn't a fan of it.
I wasn't either. But there was one thing they did in that was smart, and I've never understood why they don't do this in zombie movies. You can find it everywhere. They strapped phone books around their arms and magazines because, let's face it, even a zombie unrestrained, humans don't have that significant of a bite force. I mean, we don't really, we can't really bite through much. I mean, a real genuine leather jacket would probably keep you bite free. Why don't people do that? For instance, I would go to a high school or college and get football equipment, pads, something. You know what I mean? Pad yourself out.
I'd find a museum and get just a full-on suit of armor. Be like Lancelot around
Some
here.
chainmail.
Good luck moving around in that.
Have you a javelin?
Yeah, absolutely.
But okay, so you're lone wolf, we're pack mentality. Now here's the next question: should you stay on the move or would you hunker down somewhere?
I would find a central locale.
Yeah.
And another main reason I would be a lone wolf, I don't see me adding a lot to a group. I think I would be a weak link that would eventually be sodomized once all the women were gone. So that's another big reason I would not be a part of a pack.
Or why you don't want to go to prison?
That too. Sodomy is a main factor I consider in a lot of situations.
You try to avoid that.
Yeah, I do not want to be sodomized, and that's what I consider when I make any major life decision.
That and the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. JP comes prepared.
So, God forbid I get sodomized in the zombie apocalypse. That's like the worst case scenario.
You'd probably be, though, who the zombie movie would be centered around, though. The guy that just,
The first thing I would do, I would raid whatever drug dealer's house I could find, get all of that.
Forget the drug store. JP's hitting the drug dealer.
Yeah, I'm finding the drug dealer's house. Then I'll get some guns, and I'll just find like an abandoned car way out on a rural road, camp out in that, and that'd be it.
We back in the day had said we would take over a Walmart and like quickly. Now
Yes.
this isn't months because the thing is, I actually read something on Crack that said that more than likely the way society works is that it wouldn't be like The Walking Dead. You really wouldn't have that many crazies to worry about because there's a reason why we live in civilizations now because it's in your genes to want other people around. So more so than having like these crazy people that are going to try to kill you and steal what you have. What you probably would start seeing is trading posts set up and community. But for the sake of this podcast, we're living in the Walking Dead part to where basically anyone that's not in your group wants to kill you. You know, JP's infected.
Okay.
Ooh, possibly so. Yikes.
But so we're going to go with that. But we always said we do Walmart, but the problem with Walmart, like all our plans were terrible plans. We're like, first things first, we're going to raid the gun store and stock up on guns. You know how many other people would be thinking that? You'd have to fight for those guns, and if you're not the first one there, you're probably not going to win.
That's why you need to have a gun stock on deck at all times.
Well, and two, the gun store owner, you don't think he's going to try to protect his stash of, he's got enough in there to protect him or herself and their family. You really think that they're not going to just lock the gates down and shoot anything that comes through? So that would have probably have gotten us killed. Walmart, unless you were the first to get in there, and Walmart would actually be a terrible place. Because imagine how many infected people would already be in Walmart.
Yeah, true story.
As a grocery store manager, if that started breaking out, I would just militarize, everyone I had on staff, and nobody would be getting in. And the thing is, the very back, like loading dock, we've got a big metal door that comes down, and that we could really we hide out back there. What's the word? Fortify.
Yeah.
And that's also where all the beer and wine is. So
we had said like Walmart to us was the best idea, and I think in our mind we were thinking like 2 a.m. Walmart where there's just a few people scattered around.
Yeah.
But realistically here, you know how hard that would be. I think it would be much smarter to like find a house. For instance, my buddy's dad's ex-wife or something had this gigantic house, like 17 bedrooms. 2 or 3 bathrooms. It was huge. And it's off the road. You're not going to find that. I would figure out a way to cover the driveway. I don't know how you do that off front, but maybe put some bush there or something, hide the driveway, and I would fortify that house, and that's where I would stay. Because I think a lot of your main places like shops and grocery stores,
they'd be the first to get hit.
It already would be more people there than you would be willing to go through to get the place.
You know what we need to do? We need to start now, and we need to build an underground lair.
I'd try to be as remote as possible.
Well, you know what I always said I would do? I would get my little bass boat, and you guys know Smith Mountain Lake up here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would go up there, and they've got all those little islands peppered around, like small islands, and I would just colonize an island.
An island would be the best thing to do.
Yeah. That lake is so deep. Ain't no zombie getting to you.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, an island would be the best thing you could do. If you could find an island big enough to actually... And then, you could make runs if you needed to.
Yeah, you're close enough to the mainland. You can scavenge. There's fish.
Just hope that it's far enough away from the shore that the zombies can't see you. Could you imagine the mass the mass of zombies that would just basically be sitting on that shore? Or maybe they might actually go in the water and just... They can't drown.
What if they just piled into the water so much that
they're climbing over each other?
Yeah, they're just climbing over each other and then they get to you.
I don't know if you guys saw Land of the Dead. I think around 2000, it's where the zombies are actually starting to evolve and become more intelligent.
The zombies in that now, they could just walk through the water, like on the bottom.
Yeah. The one zombie looks out and he realizes, hey, we can just walk across the river bottom and get to the city. And that's what they do.
Now, if you could find fast-moving water, you'd be okay. Something that would just carry them down. But
like I said, Smith Mountain Lake, that's a mountain valley. They got flooded. So, they're like climbing a mountain under it. No way. Yeah, that would be the place. That would be the spot.
But, see, that would... I think, without a doubt, if you could get your own island, that would be the best possible thing.
I've always wanted to live on an island. I'm almost, hoping this will happen just to give me an excuse to move onto an island.
Just move to an island, that way you're prepared already.
Like a Bond villain.
But I had thought about the whole house thing, like get a big house off the road, no one can see. You always run the risk, but I'm thinking, like I said, it's just different mentalities. I'm thinking you have a bunch of people here, and of course, in my mind, you can do, you can split it up. For instance, my girlfriend loves to fish, and she's pretty good at it. So, I'd have her on fishing detail. Like, your job is to fish and bring us fish. Like, I know how to hunt.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Like, even if you hate hunting because you don't like animal cruelty, I like to know how to hunt just in case I ever have to.
Just in case the zombie apocalypse happens.
I know how to kill the deer, skin the deer.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have to do it for trophy, but at least I know how to do it.
Yeah.
So you could have your hunting parties. I have the slightest clue about agriculture, so I couldn't grow anything. But maybe if you could you had people in your group that could, you could have your little community there.
I think I would be eating berries and earthworms and things. Like I have no skills when it comes. Like I said, I would be absolutely useless in any kind of apocalyptic scenario. So,
what duty could we put JP on in a zombie apocalypse? I like to think my role would either be as like a scout, like scavenger kind of Glenn, go in and out and get some stuff.
Yeah.
A hunter, soldier type thing. Like,
scavenging I could do for sure.
You know, but I think my role would be more like soldier type in the scenario. Not U.S. soldier, obviously.
But you're a manly man. You could defend people and fight people.
That's what I would do. Yeah. That's my role. What do you feel your role would be in the zombie apocalypse? Would you be like a gatherer? Would you be like a scouter? Would you stay? Would you be leaving? What would you be?
I could definitely hunt and fish and gather, but I don't know about like fighting and stuff.
So you'd be more like set up with like Caitlin. Like we'd have you all going out to bring back fish. For the
you go. We'll cook too. We can do that.
Okay. All right. So JP, I know you've got to have a skill set.
Oh yeah, I figured it out just now while you guys were talking. At night, while we're all sitting around the campfire or whatever, I would act out scenes from The Sopranos. Yes. That would be my function.
Well, hey,
we need a TV.
You've got to have entertainment in the zombie apocalypse, or you're going to go crazy.
And I just thought about it. The Postman with Kevin Costner, that was his thing. He would find communities. He would act out Shakespearean plays. They'd feed him, and he'd move on. So, yeah, that would be me.
Hey, I could paint our house camouflage so nobody will see it.
You could, being that you're an artist, you could use your artistic abilities to mask the house.
Good thing for me, then. I give you guts for what's in your book. Now do yourself an effing favor and get the F out of my store. That's just a little taste. Yeah, that's a little taste.
That's what you can expect from JP in the zombie apocalypse.
We are set.
If he's in your squad, he's going to keep you entertained.
There you go.
That's right.
Because after they've been fishing all day and I've been doing whatever I'm doing all day, you're going to need some entertainment. Some people might have engineering abilities. So, I mean, for that, you can have them constantly fortifying your place, building, like working on vehicles that you can get, in and out of town. And you would just divide it up like that. Be like, okay, what'd you do in the real world? And then be like, okay. And then you could do a checklist and be like, okay.
I'm going to keep everybody drunk.
You're a bartender, so Jesse's job is to make sure we're plastered.
I got you guys.
So we're not scared when we go into town.
The biggest thing that's changed since I got out? Girls shaving their bushes. I went down to Sill's place earlier, like the Girl Scouts of America down there.
Once again,
I'm just going to do that for the rest of the show. Is that okay?
It's
yes.
JP. Yeah, it's JP's. As long as you talk about the zombie apocalypse as a Soprano character, or make a reference that you think could be used in context, do it. But so JP is going to be the entertainment for the survivors.
The comic relief. We all need that in the zombie apocalypse.
And all right, so we've established that we're dealing with mostly slower. Okay, so like right now.
Yeah,
I know we're all over the place, but right now, zombie apocalypse happens. I'll let you pick your location.
Oh
but
Lord,
where will you most often? Like, where are you likely to be if some
house
at your house?
Yeah.
Okay, now you're not going to believe it at first, but you hear that there's an actual zombie apocalypse happening. What do you do? Like, where are you going to go from there? Are you going to leave?
I mean, no.
Are you going to hunker down
I
in your
would call
house?
my dad and be like, you need to come home. And then I would tell him, get him to tell me where all the hidden guns are. I'm going to gather them, take them in the basement. I'm definitely going to make sure that nobody can get in. Well, I don't know. I really don't know, man.
See, these are the things you have to be prepared for.
Let's throw this at you. Say Lalo is bedridden with the flu. Zombies are all over the yard. You got to make a decision. Are you picking him up and throwing him in the car? Or are you going to just kind of stand there? And I'm really just trying to get Jessie to admit that in some scenario she would murder her son.
I would definitely never do that under any circumstance.
JP's like, look, I don't want it to happen, but I got to know you're willing to do this if you have to.
No.
Look, that's the first thing.
What if he gets bit? Would you be able to put him down?
After he changes, yeah.
I've always said when people are like, well, what if like your parents, I've always told myself, and of course I've never lived it, so I don't know, but I like to think my mode of thinking would be they're no longer them. Like,
yeah. It'd
be different if it's like they got bit, you need to shoot them now, and it's like, well, they're still them, but the second they try to eat me, we're no longer friends.
No. I don't. If I think you've been bit, I am hitting you in the head with something really heavy.
So we also need a watch on. We need a watch detail for JP to make sure that he's not getting.
I'm just saying, if I think you're sweating more than you should be, I'm gonna bludgeon you in the head.
Oh, come on now.
So we know JP is definitely more. I mean, hey, JP will probably survive longer. He's much more the precautionary type.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, JP, let's say you're at work.
Yes.
Which actually, you kind of already answered that. You said you would arm, you'd kind of like militarize everybody there.
I would take command, and like I said, we've got a big metal roll down door that separates the loading bay, which is a big concrete room in the back of the store where we keep all the beer and wine and stuff. I'd roll a few pallets of water and canned goods back there. I'd shut the rollback door, and it might not be such a bad place. But on Mythbusters, they were doing all this zombie stuff, and they were testing against doors and gates and stuff, and pretty much you pile enough dead weight on anything, it's coming down.
Oh, yeah. So that's the biggest problem with zombies. Now, if you got the fast zombies, they're just a problem regardless, because that's the thing. It's like, I just don't ever see, like, remember Resident Evil? Some of my probably what started my love for zombies was Resident Evil video games. Their zombies were ridiculously slow. I mean, they're just like,
Yeah.
I've always wondered, like, how would they take over the world? How would it be hard to stop that? I mean, they're so slow. So, The Walking Dead's more believable in the sense of they're a little bit faster. They're just, like, especially Fear the Walking Dead, they look a lot more human in that.
Yeah,
so
they're fresher.
It's easy to understand how it would be mistaken. Now, the 28 weeks later zombies make perfect sense how that could spread really quick.
Oh, man, that's terrifying. And it's not just getting bit. I mean, they, like, drool on you a little bit. Any fluid into an open wound or something, man, you're done.
And see, that's something I've never understood with zombies. Okay, so, The Walking Dead's very liberal with it. They get blood and guts on them all the time. And you have to assume that as the rough lifestyle they live, they've got to have cuts or something on their bodies.
Yeah.
And it don't seem to affect them one bit.
Yeah.
How do they manage not to get in their mouth? That's what I don't get. When they're like,
that's why with
brutal
me,
fight scenes, blood flying.
There's two things that you don't see people doing a zombie apocalypse. I would do. One, I would go. They make actually like shooting headphones you can wear. They use batteries, but you can actually hear just like you normally do. But it will take down the concussion of a gun, and so you can shoot but not be yelling at people the whole time you're target shooting, or have to keep. You can just leave them on. Great for people in combat situations. People don't realize all that shooting severely screws your hearing, quickly too. You can lose your hearing fast, and as much shooting as you do in a zombie apocalypse, I would always have some earphones on me at some point. Being I'm in a group, I would have somebody to watch my back, and two would be like some kind of mask or safety goggles, sunglasses, mouth cover.
Yeah, I'm curious if they'll introduce this into the show. In the comics, we're talking about getting infected. Negan's got a group that's warring with Rick's group, and they actually start, dipping their knives and their bullets and stuff in zombie guts and stabbing them with it. And people get infected that way.
Yeah, because the show's a lot. Like I said, I mean, it's just that they have been through hell as far as zombie guts and stuff being all over them, and they don't turn.
And they do that a lot in the comic book too. Like the Whisperers, the new villain, like they actually wear zombie skins all the time just to their society functions within the herd of zombies.
And that's the thing too. I still think the noise thing is up for debate, and I say that because, for instance, I was target shooting just the other week, and I was in a safe area, but gunshots travel a long way. So I guess somebody heard me off in the distance and decided they wanted to be funny, and they popped a few rounds off. I thought they were coming from in front of me, but my girlfriend said they were actually coming from behind. So gunshots can be very misleading. I can understand if it's right behind the building and the zombies are right here and in front. But as far as the whole you shoot and zombies from 2 miles away they're dumb as a brick,
come directly to you.
But they can echolocate the exact point. Gunshots are misleading. Like I said, I can completely understand. Say you're in this building, you shoot somebody, and there's a zombie right outside. Sure, he's probably going to go, huh? But I would still use guns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I never thought about that.
People severely underestimate how hard it is to probably take a machete and cut through, for instance, we tried, coconuts with machete. I mean, it's hard to do. I mean, it's.
That also, I didn't even think about that. If you're on the island and sound travels weird on water
sound
too,
travels faster on water.
But you still can't really tell where it's coming from, right? I don't know.
Well, the thing is it can echo off of water. So even more so, if you're on the island and you have a gunshot, I mean, it can go this way and then bounce off the water and make it sound like it's coming from behind you. I'd still use gun. I would try to find another way, but I would always not hesitate to.
I would definitely have a baseball bat on me because I'm always worried with a sword or a machete just getting it stuck inside someone and then just being like, I can't get it out. And while I'm fiddling with that, another one comes up behind me.
Yeah.
You never know.
For instance, I have a knife that has a gut hook on it. I mean, what if you had to chunk that in there and it got stuck on the way out and then you just lost a knife and you slowed yourself down?
I just want a gun with infinite bullets.
Right. We need the Konami code.
Hey, but y'all remember bath salts, right?
Yeah.
When those people were acting like zombies, were y'all scared the zombie apocalypse was happening?
I'm not so sure that wasn't a cover-up, quite frankly.
Right.
Yes, I was scared the zombie apocalypse was happening when they were doing that.
Brian, a buddy of mine, messaged me, and because like not long after that, like it was one of those things where 1,500 birds dropped dead out the sky.
Yeah.
He sent me the dude eating the guy's face, and then that was like, it's finally happening, man.
Yeah.
All those hours of playing those video games and planning. Meet me at Walmart.
We need to gather canned food,
Yeah,
Canned food, Chef Boyardee, beans.
unperishables.
People don't think about, because there's a lot of people that say they would love the zombie apocalypse, like they would just
What?
love to have something like that, but they don't consider the negatives of the zombie apocalypse. So many things that
Yeah, like zombies.
monsters. I mean, they got an expiration date, so after so long they'd be gone.
You
no
meant
Wi-Fi.
monster.
No
Wi-Fi.
You
Netflix.
can't Google how to kill a zombie in the zombie apocalypse.
It'd be kind of like Walking Dead 4D. I mean, that'd be probably the only advantage, but. Your people that you love are going to die. Like, people have to die to create the enemy. So, by wanting that to happen, you're essentially wishing death upon a lot of innocent people, though,
Yeah.
But we all know it's going to happen one day. So we've got to be
totally.
we've got to be prepared. So we've got it figured out in the sense of that Jesse in our group will be a fisherwoman / huntress. I'm just going to give you a cool name.
Okay.
Instead of huntress sounds like.
I want to change my name too when the zombie apocalypse happens.
I don't even know
want
if
a
I wanna
badass
know.
name.
Okay, I was going to say, please don't let it be something like Rainbow Sunshine.
Oh, no. It needs to be badass.
If we're having an issue with a warring faction, nobody's going to get scared when it's like, all right, here they come. There's Rainbow Sunshine up front. They're going to be like,
Well, maybe that could be my power. Like, they underestimate me.
maybe. But I just feel like we would. No, what would your badass name be? Your
I don't
warrior
know,
name.
man. Jesse Kickass or something like that.
That's
I don't.
not too bad.
That actually it flows.
Okay.
Jesse Kickass.
You might
go
want to
with
use that anyway.
It's kind of like my real name, Jesse King, except ick ass on the end of K.
That's not bad. Jesse Kickass.
I should change my name to that.
Jesse Kickass.
Kick ass.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
What would your name be?
Justin Grimes.
I just realized that y'all both have the same name.
Do we?
Yeah.
Is your name Justin?
I'm JP. That's who I am.
Right,
Jesse.
I was going to say, I thought his name was JP.
I would want to. I've always thought Henry was a handsome name. I would go with Henry. Hi, Jesse.
It's respectable.
My name's
It'd
Henry.
Be like a gentleman approach.
Yeah.
But he's like super killer.
Welcome to our group. You could be kind of like, even though he wasn't really gentleman, like, what was his name with the long hair, had the sword cane in the Walking Dead.
Oh,
comic.
Ezekiel?
Yeah, you could have that cane and be very gentleman-like, but then someone crosses you wrong and it's just like, phew.
He was a great character. Don't forget he had a tiger as well.
Shiva. Is that
God,
his name?
yeah, I think so. God rest his soul.
Yep.
You know what I think would be effective in the zombie apocalypse?
What?
If you got in those big balls.
The little plastic balls?
Yes.
If they could make them pretty durable, actually it would be, because
Yeah.
even unlike some things, if you wore the armor and you tried to go through, they could still grab you and hold you back.
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't grab that, so
No.
even as they fail, you could just roll on over their bodies.
Exactly.
I
think we're onto something.
You know what? That's how you survive the zombie apocalypse. You get one of those big round balls. I would get one of the ones that's maybe less inflated and more durable, but
sturdy.
coated in some kind of like grease. You know what I mean? Like
Lube it
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
vegetable oil, and then just roll. I mean, you would just zip through that. Nothing could grab you.
If it was not made out of something that was plastic that you blow up, kind of like a hamster ball. If you had like a hamster
Right, a
ball
giant
and
hamster
it
ball.
slits where you could like with knives.
Well, you know what you could do, but the only problem with that is if you get off course, you run the risk of sticking into the ground, and then you're stuck there.
Or if you get into like a river or a lake, that's gonna sink
you don't want
and
anything
you'll die.
that will. Well, it's a lot of those float on water. When I was at the beach, actually, they had those on the water.
Not if it's a hamster ball type
True,
thing
they
with
probably
holes.
sink.
With
But I mean,
knife
if you
holes.
could do that, that actually is one of the best ideas I've heard for surviving the zombie apocalypse.
Yes!
You get a slicked up hamster ball and just roll.
I can't wait to tell you guys about my dream I'm gonna have tonight.
Or, they make little metal cages that roll like that.
Yeah, didn't American Gladiators use that kind of stuff?
But that might be the way to survive the zombie apocalypse.
It's
be.
worth a shot.
I mean, it's, I'm going to let you try it, though,
Okay.
and you send
I'll get
word
back
through
to
maybe
you.
a pigeon. I don't
Yeah.
know how you'll communicate.
Smoke signals.
That's the thing, too, that they don't realize. You realize how many nuclear meltdowns you'd have if all of civilization fell?
Oh, gosh, it'd be awful.
And in the zombie movies, they don't do that. Just power goes out. But you know how many areas would be like our own Chernobyl? You would have tons of those throughout the country with all of these nuclear plants. But you'd have a lot of that around here. Like, do we have any nuclear plants near us here?
Not that I'm aware of. But
no.
Thanks a lot, Chernobyl, for not freaking out and killing each other.
About it, yeah. There's a movie that came out recently about
Chernobyl.
Yeah,
really.
It was like a found footage film, I guess. I hadn't seen it.
What?
But
Real?
they're like seeing like mutated things there and stuff. I want to see it. It looks pretty good. I think I've predicted the catch to the movie, but I want to see it first to see if I'm right. I've told 2 or 3 people, and so they'll back me up if I was right. You always got to back yourself up. And side note, before we go, it was not zombie related, but I did see a pretty good horror movie. I advise everyone to go see.
Ooh.
I went and saw The Visit this past week.
Yeah.
Oh, with the crazy grandparents?
Actually, really liked it.
Huh.
With M. Night Shyamalan, you never. It's either going to be really good or really bad. He's got some good stuff. Unbreakable with Bruce Willis.
I like that.
Samuel L. Jackson, freaking awesome. Because he tries to put a twist in every movie he does, which sometimes leads to a great holy crap moment. Sometimes it leads to that is this, like The Happening. I just cannot like that movie. I've tried. It's ridiculously stupid. But this movie, it has a twist. And when you get to the twist, it's just like made the hair stand up on my arms. It was like, holy moly. I would advise go see it. It's hilarious.
I'm always a little apprehensive about PG-13 horror movie. That one's PG-13, right?
I either told Cameron or I told my girlfriend, I said, I don't even know if I want to see it now. It's rated PG-13.
Right.
No, it's still...
That was yet another reason why World War Z sucked. Like, if Brad Pitt is smashing a zombie's skull in, I want to see it. Don't, move the camera angle away.
Right.
I mean,
this actually has some questionable things in it that I'm kind of like, can't believe it wasn't rated R.
Well, look, if the story's there, I mean, who cares
I guess
about
the
the
main
rating?
reason why they didn't have to rate it R is because it's from the point of view of 2 kids, and though they cuss a little bit, they don't cuss that much, so you don't really have...
They don't drop any F-bombs.
But if nothing else, it's hilarious.
And no boobies?
Well...
No boobies. Nah, you see some grandma butt.
Yeah.
Nice.
But okay, so zombie apocalypse. Before we go, what we know, JP will be our entertainment, if he's even with us, because he's more of a lone wolf.
He'll be with us.
We'll see.
He might be like, JP will be that kind of friend that just goes with the wind. Like, we'll see him every once in a while. He'll show up. He'll entertain
That's basically
us.
who I am.
He'll show up pretending to be a zombie, and right when we're about to kill him, he's like, I'm just kidding.
But he'll do it in like a soprano
Yeah.
impersonation.
Yeah, he'll just break out and like...
Jessie will be a fisherwoman who someone is going to have to tell her where to go, though, because upon the zombie apocalypse is not going to know how to do anything other than call her dad and do something in the basement. That's about as far as we got. And I hope that we all say that and we'll be the first ones to die. Like, we say that, and I'll be like, all right, I'm going to go home and get and be like a dude attached to my arm, gnawing on it, be like, son of a... Take it off.
I feel like I've had enough zombie dreams to be prepared when it happens. So
if you go to my
I'm not going to worry about it.
And look at the bottom of my bookshelf, and I'm not even counting the ones that are still in my parents' attic. Just the bottom of my bookshelf is lined with books. Every one of those is some kind of zombie something. If
I was bitten, I'm not even sure I'd let someone amputate a limb, because with every epidemic, like 1% of the population's immune, and I would just roll the dice. I'd be like, I'm part of that 1%, so leave my finger alone.
Right.
Leave my wrist alone.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, I've had fun talking about the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been real good. Yeah.
Are you doing another impersonation?
No, I'm just happy, Jesse. It's okay for me to be happy every now and then,
That's
right?
weird. I don't know.
Next week will be podcast 20, so we have to do something special.
Lord have mercy.
I don't know what, but
cool.
we've managed to make 20 of these next week, so we'll have to come up
that
with
would be
something.
double X podcast. When we get to 30 and it's triple X, man, we got to get super freaky in here. Yeah.
Y'all can invite Evan, and I'll just miss out on that one.
And nah, Jesse.
I'll record
I had
it.
to be left here for that.
I'll record it. I'm gonna be the cameraman that night.
We ain't recording nothing.
We can do some point of view stuff. You can still be into it. It'll be all right.
I'll keep my role as like producer. I'll let y'all handle this, and I'll just splice it together for you. How about that? But all right, well, until podcast 20, I'm Justin.
I'm Jesse.
I'm JP. Yeah.
And or as a zombie apocalypse would be your...
Yeah, I'd be Henry then.
Oh yeah, I'm
Henry.
Jesse Kickass.
But right now I'm
Kick-Ass, and
JP.
I'm just Justin. We'll see you next week.
Peace
Booyah.
out.